Good day. This is AI mathematics. Today, I want to discuss uh, speed, velocity, and acceleration. I've told you that all I need is key points before start solving questions. Speed, velocity, and acceleration. Speed is distance over time taking. Time taking. While velocity is displace displacement over time taking. Speed is distance over time taking, while velocity displacement over time taking. The difference between these two is that this one, speed, is a scalar quantity, while velocity is a vector quantity. And they have the same unit, that is meter per seconds. They have the same unit. Now, then uh, we also have acceleration. The formula for acceleration is increase in velocity. That is, acceleration is increase in velocity over time taking. Time taking. What that means is that increase in velocity over time taking. We can also have decrease in velocity. When we have decrease in velocity, we have retardation or uh, deceleration. When we have decrease in velocity, we have retardation or uh, deceleration. Now, let's discuss about the graph. So, another one here, deceleration. Deceleration, deceleration is decrease, decrease in velocity, decrease in velocity. So when velocity decreases, decrease in velocity, we have a deceleration. We have decelerate, time taking, time taking. So which means when we have acceleration, we have increase in velocity over time taking, and when we have deceleration, we have decrease in velocity over time taking. So that's that. Then let's talk about the graph of the following. That is speed, velocity, and acceleration. I want to talk the graph of it. So uh, we have graph of speed, and we have graph of velocity, we have graph of acceleration. For instance, now the let's say we have graph A, we have this vertical, this horizontal. Let's say we have distance time graph, distance time graph, which means distance along this vertical and time along this time against distance. And when we have that, let's say we have the slope. This slope here, slope. Slope is also known as what? Gradient. Gradient, which means slope of distance time graph, distance time graph, slope of distance time graph is what? You can see now that in this now we have distance here, which means distance along the vertical, while time along the horizontal. It means that slope here is distance over time. And when we have distance over time, it means what? Speed. Which is equal to what? Speed. Which means in any question when you ask that, we have it in OBJ, the slope of distance time graph is speed. Is speed. And this slope is also known as what? Gradients. Gradients. Slope can also be called gradients. 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 Slope of distance time graph is speed, or gradient of distance time graph is the same thing. Slope and gradient are the same thing. Then let's go to the displacement time graph now. Instead of distance, we can write displacement. Displacement. Displacement time graph. It means that we replace this distance to what? Displacement. Displacement. Which means slope of it. Slope, you can see that displacement over time. Displacement over time. It means that is what? Velocity. You can see that when the slope of distance time graph is speed, the slope of speed time graph is what? Velocity. And no, don't note, slope also means gradient. So you can meet in the OBJ questions in any exam. But the important thing now we are going is we have dealt with speed. Speed, distance against time, velocity, displacement against time. Now we want to go and do this one, which is acceleration. Acceleration. When we have velocity against time, we have time and we have velocity here. Velocity here. Then the slope. Let's say we have line here. The slope here. That's the slope. The slope here is slope of velocity time graph. Time graph is what? Is acceleration. What that means that slope is equal to velocity. Velocity here, this is velocity. Velocity. That's velocity over time. And when you have velocity over time, it means what? Acceleration. acceleration, 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 acceleration. Then in question, we can have, let's say, a body starts from rest. If a body starts from rest, it means that it starts from this origin. Mhm. And it accelerates to a certain velocity. You see here, and this will be time. Let's say we have constant velocity, it's here, and it then decelerates. You can have it also in this place. This place also is slope, but this slope, the velocity decrease. We call this place deceleration, deceleration, deceleration. This one, this place, we call it uh, accelerate, acceleration. This place, we call it constant velocity, constant velocity. It means that when we have velocity time graph, we can find many things here. Number one, we can find velocity. You know, when we talk about velocity, we can find the initial velocity and final velocity. Because if it starts from origin, if it starts from here, but sometimes it can start from a certain velocity, which means you have like this, then move constant velocity, constant speed, you have like this, then come to rest. You can have it in this way, which means you can also find the initial velocity of this. Now, with this graph now, you can find one. Note what we can find here, we can find both initial and final velocity. Then we can find uh, acceleration. Acceleration. We can find uh, deceleration. Deceleration, which is also known as what? Retardation. Retardation. Then we can also find for time. We can also find distance. 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 So distance here and here, we can find it using area of the shape. You can see now here where we have distance here from this point. Let's say this is point A, point B, point C, point D. Distance, you have to understand distance very well. To find the distance, you apply the area of the given shape you are using. You can see here now, area of A, B, let's say D, let's say E. Let me represent this, all this one by letters A, B, C, D, E, F. This is the, because we know that this one is A. This one is negative of A, which is a minus A, because the negative of acceleration is deceleration. So, in case you are asked to find the distance, this is triangle. triangle. Use the area of the triangle, which is a half base times height. Area of triangle, in most cases, use area of a triangle, which is what? Half multiplied by base multiplied by height. Then area of a rectangle, which is a length times breadth. Breadth length times breadth. Let me write it very well. Breadth. So you can see now that we have two triangles here. This 1, 2. This will be the base. Time will be the base. And height will be the velocity. Height will be the velocity. Then base is always time here. Then, which means distance. To find distance, those are the things needed. Area of a triangle, area of rectangle, and area of trapezium, which is half into bracket a plus b times height h. A means, look at this side. From here to here, we say is A. From here to here is our B. And from here to this place is our height. So by next class, I will try to solve questions so that everything will be revealed in our solving. But what you need to know in this is that velocity against time. The slope is what? Acceleration. Why? You can also find the time in this graph. You can find deceleration. You can also find distances or total distance. Because distances means that you can find distance from the first journey here. You can find distance when moved in constant velocity. You can find distance when that body decelerates. So which means this graph, we are going to simplify it in the next class. But what you need to point out is that you can find initial or final velocity. You can find acceleration, you can find deceleration or retardation. You can find time, you can find this distance. And distance, you apply formulas. Half base times height, area of rectangle, or area of trapezium, which next class I will try to portray it more. Because what matters in physics is how to relate formulas and get what you want. But all this also, you also need all this equation of motion to find her. So you need V equal to U plus AT. You need V square equal to U square plus 2AX. You need X is equal to UT plus half AT square. So here V is final velocity. Okay, let me write it here. V means final velocity. U is initial velocity. A is acceleration. acceleration, t is time, ys is distance. So those are the 5 letters we have here. So that's the end of the class. Please like me, share me, and advise me, follow me. By next class, we are going to solve enough questions so that you understand the concept, because I told you that physics need to understand the concept. If you understand this concept very well, but I will make it clearer when we solve question by next class. Good day.